Introduction: The Journey Within. Before you were born into this world, you existed as pure awareness, untouched, unbroken, and whole. Then came the mind, the magnificent instrument through which the unseen world of spirit could experience creation. The mind is not your enemy. It is not your master. It is your servant, a tool designed to express the divine through thought, imagination, emotion, and will. Yet, for most of humanity, this servant has seized control, and the master, your higher self, sleeps. This audiobook is your invitation to awaken, to understand your mind not as a mystery, but as a living mechanism of creation, a bridge between heaven and earth, spirit and matter, the invisible and the seen. Every thought you think, every feeling you entertain, every word you speak sends out ripples into the field of creation. When you understand how your mind works, the conscious, subconscious, unconscious, and superconscious, you gain the keys to your destiny. Ask yourself, who is the thinker behind my thoughts? Who watches my mind at work? In this question lies the first doorway to mastery. The journey before you is both scientific and spiritual, practical and sacred. You will learn how your thoughts become your world, how to reshape your subconscious patterns, and how to reconnect with the divine intelligence that governs all life, what we call the superconscious mind, or the seat of God. As you listen, take your time. Reflect, practice, observe your own experiences, because true understanding is not intellectual, it is lived. Let us begin. Chapter 1. The Nature of the Mind. The first step to mastering the mind is understanding what it truly is. Most people confuse the mind with the brain. The brain is a physical organ made of cells, neurons, and chemicals. The mind, however, is the field of energy that uses the brain as its instrument. It is invisible yet powerful. The space where thoughts are born, memories are stored, and imagination takes form. You are not your mind. You are the awareness using the mind. Just as a musician plays an instrument, you play your mind. When you learn to play it well, harmony fills your life. When you play it unconsciously, you experience noise, confusion, fear, and limitation. The layers of the mind. Think of your mind as a vast ocean. The surface, calm or stormy, is the conscious mind. Below it flows a deeper current, the subconscious, holding memories, habits, and emotions. Beneath that, in the dark trenches, lie the unconscious, the hidden forces that drive instinct, trauma, and ancestral patterns. And beyond all of them, shining like the sun above the waters, is the superconscious, the divine awareness of God expressing through you. Each layer has its function, and mastery comes when you bring harmony between them. How conditioning shapes perception. From the moment you were born, your mind began recording. Every word you heard, every experience you had, every emotion you felt was stored as information, forming your inner world. By age 7, your subconscious was largely programmed. If you were told you were clever, you believed it. If you were told you were not enough, that too became part of your reality. Most adults live from these early programs, unaware that their beliefs are not facts, but memories replaying themselves. Imagine a man named Joseph. Joseph grew up in a home where money was always scarce. He heard phrases like, "We can't afford it," and "money doesn't grow on trees." As an adult, Joseph worked hard, but no matter how much he earned, he always found himself back at zero. His subconscious mind had accepted scarcity as truth, and his outer world obeyed it. The moment Joseph learned to observe his thoughts and question his beliefs, everything began to change. He started affirming abundance, feeling gratitude for what he had, and visualizing prosperity. Within months, opportunities appeared, and his financial reality began to mirror his new inner state. That is the nature of the mind. What you hold in consciousness becomes the world you see. The mind as a mirror. Your mind is a mirror. It reflects whatever is impressed upon it. If you feed it fear, it will project fear. If you feed it love, it will radiate peace. Most suffering arises when people identify with the mirror instead of the one looking into it. You are not your reflections. You are the light that makes them visible. Ask yourself, what thoughts have I been feeding my mind lately? Do they serve the life I desire? Awareness is the beginning of transformation. The relationship between thought and emotion. Every thought carries a vibration. When you think a thought long enough, it attracts an emotion of the same frequency. Think of love, and you feel peace. Think of resentment, and you feel heaviness. The emotional energy then feeds back into the mind, amplifying that thought. This creates what we call the thought-emotion loop, the repeating cycles of worry, doubt, or joy that shape your days. To master the mind is to become aware of this loop and redirect it consciously. Working practice, the Daily Awareness Journal. Purpose, to observe your mental patterns and regain control of your thoughts. Each morning, sit quietly for 5 minutes. Breathe deeply. Ask yourself, what am I thinking about most often these days? Write down 3 recurring thoughts or emotions you've noticed. Next to each one, note whether it uplifts or drains your energy. Choose one limiting thought to replace with a positive, truthful one. Example, replace, I never have enough with, I am guided and provided for every day. Repeat your new thought several times daily, especially when the old one appears. Do this for 7 days. By the end of the week, you will begin to see how awareness alone shifts energy and outcomes. Remember, the mind is plastic. It can be reshaped at any time. You are not a victim of your thoughts. You are their creator. Final reflection for Chapter 1. The mind is not to be feared, nor to be silenced, but to be understood. It is a living, breathing bridge between your spirit and your world. When you learn its language, awareness, attention, feeling, and faith, you awaken the true power of creation within. In the chapters ahead, we will journey deeper into each layer, beginning with the conscious mind, the guardian of your present awareness, the first key to mastery. Chapter 2. The Conscious Mind, the Gatekeeper of Choice. Every moment of your life, your mind is awake and working. From the time you open your eyes in the morning until you drift into sleep, one part of your mind stands alert, constantly interpreting, analyzing, choosing, and deciding. That part is your conscious mind, the gatekeeper of your thoughts, and the decision-maker of your destiny. The role of the conscious mind. The conscious mind is like the captain of a great ship. It decides where to sail, sets the course, and gives commands to the crew, which are your subconscious and unconscious processes. But here's the secret. The crew, your deeper mind, does the real work. If the captain gives confused or conflicting orders, the ship wanders aimlessly. Every choice you make, every belief you affirm, every mental picture you hold passes first through the conscious mind. It analyzes information using the 5 senses, sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell, and then either accepts or rejects ideas before passing them to the subconscious. That means you have the power of selection. You may not always choose what thoughts appear, but you can always choose which ones to entertain. Awareness and attention. Imagine your consciousness as a flashlight in a dark room. Wherever you direct the beam, that area becomes visible, alive, and active. The rest remains unseen, though it still exists. The power of attention is the power to give life. Whatever you focus on expands in your experience. Think of a gardener tending two plants, one of fear and one of faith. Whichever plant he waters daily will grow tall and strong, while the other weakens. Your attention is that water. When you focus on lack, you multiply lack. When you focus on gratitude, you multiply abundance. Every moment you are creating through the focus of your attention. Ask yourself, where have I been placing my attention lately? On what I fear, or on what I want to create? How thoughts enter the subconscious. The conscious mind decides what enters the deeper layers of the mind. It acts as a gatekeeper, but most people don't realize how much power it has. When you accept an idea repeatedly, especially with emotion, your subconscious takes it as truth and begins to create conditions that match it. That's how habits, beliefs, and even physical conditions form. For example, if you keep saying, "I always catch a cold in winter," your conscious mind eventually impresses that belief upon the subconscious, and the body obeys. But if you affirm, "I am strong and healthy through every season," the subconscious will begin to reorganize your inner chemistry to align with that truth. This is not magic. It's mental law. The conscious mind is the sower. The subconscious is the soil. Whatever seed you plant with conviction will grow in time. The power of choice. Every human being possesses one of the greatest gifts in creation, the power to choose. Even when you cannot control external circumstances, you can always control your response to them. Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist and survivor of the Holocaust, once wrote that in the space between stimulus and response lies our freedom. That space is the conscious mind at work, your ability to choose peace instead of anger, hope instead of despair, forgiveness instead of resentment. It is not what happens to you that defines your life, but how you interpret and respond to it. Imagine two people stuck in the same traffic jam. One frowns, curses, and feels trapped. The other turns on peaceful music, breathes deeply, and uses the time to reflect. The same situation, yet two entirely different experiences because of choice. Training the conscious mind. To master your conscious mind is to train your awareness. This is not about controlling every thought. That's impossible. It's about learning to choose which thoughts deserve your attention and energy. Let's explore a few practical ways to strengthen this power. 1. Observation without judgment. Throughout the day, pause and simply notice what you are thinking. Don't try to change it, just observe. Say quietly within, I'm thinking about failure again, or I'm imagining peace. This small act awakens awareness, separating you from your thoughts. 2. Mental substitution. Each time you catch yourself thinking something negative or limiting, consciously substitute a positive alternative. For example, replace "I can't do this" with "I'm learning to master this." Replace "I'm so unlucky" with "Life is teaching me to rise." At first, it will feel unnatural, but repetition rewires the mind. 3. Directed focus practice. Set a timer for 5 minutes. Pick one simple object, a candle flame, a leaf, your breath, and focus on it fully. Notice when your mind wanders and gently return your attention. This strengthens your mental muscle of focus. In time, you'll notice your thoughts obey your will instead of pulling you around. A story of mastery, the student and the cup. There's an old Zen story of a young student who went to a wise teacher asking for enlightenment. The teacher poured him a cup of tea, but kept pouring until the tea overflowed and spilled everywhere. "Stop!" cried the student. "It's already full." The teacher smiled and said, "Exactly. How can I pour wisdom into you if your mind is already full? The conscious mind must be empty enough to listen. If it is filled with noise, endless inner talk, opinions, fears, and assumptions, no new truth can enter. To master the conscious mind is to quiet the noise, to become still enough for the voice of the deeper mind and the divine to speak. Ask yourself, how full is my cup today? Can I empty it even for a few minutes to receive new understanding? The role of belief and repetition. The conscious mind learns through repetition. Every time you repeat a thought with feeling, it carves a deeper groove in the mind's pathways. This is why advertisers repeat slogans and why affirmations, prayers, and mantras work. They bypass the critical faculty and plant seeds in the subconscious. You can use this law consciously to change your life. For example, if you want to build confidence, repeat with faith, I trust the wisdom of God within me. I am guided, protected, and capable. Do this with feeling, not mechanical recitation. The emotion gives power. Repetition gives direction. The power of mental images. The conscious mind speaks in words, but the subconscious responds to images. That's why visualization is so powerful. When you imagine a goal vividly, see it, feel it, believe it, your subconscious begins to move unseen forces to make it real. Imagine an athlete visualizing a perfect performance before the game. Science shows that the same brain circuits activate during imagination as during the real event. In the mind, there is no difference between imagined and experienced. So when you imagine success with feeling, your body and energy align with that outcome. Ask yourself, what mental images am I rehearsing daily? Are they pictures of fear or of faith? Working practice, focus, and redirect exercise. Purpose, to train your conscious mind to stay aligned with your chosen intention. Step 1. Each morning, choose a focus word, something uplifting and simple. Examples: peace, clarity, strength, love, abundance. Step 2. Throughout the day, whenever you notice your mind wandering into negativity, quietly repeat your focus word 3 times. Step 3. Visualize that word as a gentle light filling your body. Feel its quality expanding through you. Step 4. At night, reflect. How many times did I remember my focus today? Even if you remembered once, celebrate it. That's mastery growing. Repeat this for 7 days. You'll begin to notice more control over your mental state and greater peace in your responses. The conscious mind and free will. Animals act mostly from instinct. Humans, however, were given the divine gift of free will, the ability to choose thoughts, emotions, and actions consciously. This is what makes us co-creators with God. When you think with awareness, you align your will with divine will. When you think unconsciously, you drift through life like a leaf in the wind. True mastery begins when you say, I will think what I choose to think. Final reflection for Chapter 2. The conscious mind is your gatekeeper, your captain, and your light of awareness. It can either let in the weeds of fear or the seeds of divine truth. Its greatest power lies in the simple act of choosing, moment by moment, what you will give life to. Every time you choose peace over anger, faith over fear, love over bitterness, you align with the higher laws of the universe. The conscious mind opens the door, the subconscious carries the message, and the superconscious, the seat of God, blesses the outcome. In the next chapter, we descend deeper into the vast and hidden realm of the subconscious mind, the silent power that shapes 95% of your life. Here, you will learn how to reprogram your inner patterns and awaken the creative force within you. Chapter 3. The Subconscious Mind, the Silent Powerhouse. There is a part of you that never sleeps. It beats your heart, digests your food, heals your wounds, and keeps you breathing even when you forget to. It remembers every word you've heard, every emotion you've felt, and every experience you've lived. That part is your subconscious mind, the silent powerhouse behind your entire existence. What the subconscious mind really is. If your conscious mind is the captain of the ship, your subconscious is the mighty ocean that carries it. It does not argue, reason, or question. It simply obeys the commands it receives. Whatever idea you plant in it, whether good or bad, true or false, it accepts as fact and begins to reproduce it in your life. The subconscious is literal. It cannot tell the difference between imagination and reality, between something happening now and something remembered or feared. That is why thoughts held with strong emotion become real experiences. The subconscious as the creative engine. Every invention, work of art, and solution ever known to humanity began first as an impression on the subconscious. The conscious mind gathers information, then passes it below for incubation. In sleep or deep relaxation, the subconscious organizes the data, forms connections, and sends back insight as intuition or inspiration. Thomas Edison used to keep a ball in his hand while resting in a chair. When he drifted into that twilight state between waking and sleep, his muscles relaxed, the ball fell, and the noise woke him, just as new ideas surfaced from his subconscious. Many artists, scientists, and writers throughout history have done the same. Your subconscious is constantly creating, shaping your circumstances, your health, and your relationships according to the images impressed upon it. How programming begins. From birth to about 7 years old, your brain operates mostly in theta frequency, a relaxed, hypnotic state. In that state, you absorb everything around you without question. Every tone of voice, facial expression, and emotional atmosphere becomes part of your subconscious programming. If your parents expressed love and encouragement, those beliefs formed the foundation of your self-image. If they were anxious, critical, or fearful, that energy too became part of your inner dialogue. Consider this example. A little girl named Alma hears her father say, "Money is hard to come by." Though she doesn't understand economics, her subconscious records that statement as truth. As an adult, Alma works hard but never feels financially secure. Whenever she earns more, something unexpected happens. A car breaks down, a bill arrives, keeping her at the same level. Why? Because her subconscious is fulfilling an old command. Money is hard to come by. The good news is that programming can be rewritten. What was once recorded unconsciously can be transformed consciously. How the subconscious communicates. The subconscious speaks in symbols, emotion, and repetition. It reveals itself in dreams, habits, and reactions. When you feel triggered or repeatedly face the same challenge, that is the subconscious trying to communicate. For example, if you often feel unappreciated, it may be replaying an old memory of not being seen as a child. If you fear success, it may be protecting you from a past moment where attention felt unsafe. To understand your subconscious, pay attention not to what you think, but to what you feel. Feelings are its language. Ask yourself, what emotions repeat themselves in my life? What hidden belief might those emotions be protecting? The law of the subconscious. Your subconscious always seeks to maintain harmony between your inner beliefs and outer reality. If you believe you are unworthy of love, it will unconsciously attract situations that confirm that belief. Not to punish you, but to reveal what needs healing. It cannot create outside the patterns it has accepted. This is why people repeat the same experiences again and again, even when they want to change. The conscious mind says, "I want success." The subconscious replies, "But you are not worthy of it." And so it blocks the path. Lasting change happens only when the subconscious agrees with the conscious intention. That alignment is what we call faith. a deep inner knowing that your desire is already real. How to reprogram the subconscious. Reprogramming the subconscious is not about force. It is about repetition, emotion, and belief. Here are 5 proven methods that activate this transformation. 1. Affirmation with feeling. Words alone are weak unless they are felt. When you affirm a truth with emotion, you impress it deeply on the subconscious. Say, "I am guided by divine intelligence," and feel it as though it were already real. Repeat it when you wake, before sleep, and any time your mind is still. Deuxième visualization. Create a clear mental picture of your desired outcome. See yourself living it, feeling the joy, peace, or fulfillment it brings. The subconscious accepts this image as present reality and begins to manifest it. 3. The power of sleep. Just before sleep, your conscious mind relaxes and your subconscious becomes most receptive. End your day by focusing on what you want, not on what worries you. Whisper gentle affirmations as you drift off. During the night, your deeper mind will work to bring those pictures to life. 4. Gratitude. The emotion of gratitude raises your vibration and opens the subconscious to abundance. When you give thanks for what you desire as if it already exists, the subconscious aligns reality to match it. 5. Repetition and consistency. The subconscious learns through repetition. Just as water shapes rock through persistence, repeated thought carves new pathways in your mind. Daily consistency, even for a few minutes, is far more powerful than rare bursts of effort. A story of transformation, Kwame's healing. Kwame was a teacher who struggled with chronic back pain for years. Doctors found no physical cause. Through meditation, he discovered deep feelings of guilt stored in his body from a past event, something he had never forgiven himself for. Each night he began affirming softly, "I release the past. I forgive myself completely. I am free." He visualized light entering his back, releasing the tension. Within weeks, the pain lessened. Within months, it disappeared completely. His subconscious had accepted the new message of forgiveness and translated it into physical healing. Such is the power that lies within each of us. The subconscious and the law of attraction. The popular law of attraction is nothing mystical. It is the natural function of the subconscious. Whatever idea is impressed deeply within becomes magnetic. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you believe. 2 people may say the same affirmation, "I am prosperous," yet get opposite results. The one who feels poor will continue to attract lack. The one who feels rich in gratitude will draw abundance naturally. So the secret is not just to repeat words, but to embody their emotion. Ask yourself, what feelings do I associate with my goals? Do I feel anxious about them or grateful as though they are already real? Working practice, the 21-day subconscious reset. Purpose, to replace limiting patterns with empowering beliefs. Duration, 21 days because it takes roughly that long to form a new mental habit. Identify one core belief you want to change. Example, "I am not good enough." Create a new statement that affirms its opposite. Example, "I am worthy, capable, and guided by divine wisdom." Visualize yourself living in alignment with that belief each morning for 5 minutes. See the version of yourself who already feels that truth. Affirm your statement out loud before sleep, feeling peace and certainty. Journal your progress daily. Note any emotional resistance or signs of change. Celebrate small shifts. Gratitude reinforces the new pattern. At the end of 21 days, review your experience. You'll often notice your external life subtly mirroring your new inner state. Kinder interactions, clearer decisions, unexpected opportunities. This is not coincidence. It is the subconscious responding. Faith. the bridge between the subconscious and the divine. When Jesus said, "According to your faith be it unto you," he was describing a law of mind. Faith is not blind belief. It is the quiet conviction that the unseen is real. When your conscious desire and subconscious belief unite through faith, creation happens effortlessly. You begin to live not from effort, but from alignment, where thought, feeling, and divine will move as one. Ask yourself, where am I still doubting the goodness of life? Can I choose faith instead of fear, even for a moment? The subconscious and healing. The subconscious controls every cell of your body. It regulates blood flow, temperature, and immune response. When it receives harmonious ideas, peace, forgiveness, love, it translates them into health. When it receives discordant ideas, fear, guilt, resentment, it manifests imbalance. Doctors have documented cases where patients recovered through belief alone. The so-called placebo effect. This is simply the subconscious responding to the conviction of wellness. You can direct this same power consciously by impressing healing images upon your mind. Visualize your body glowing with light, every cell singing in harmony. Whisper, "Every function of my body is divinely balanced." Do this with faith, and the body will follow. Final reflection for Chapter 3. The subconscious mind is your faithful servant. It does not choose, it obeys. Whatever you impress upon it through thought, feeling, and repetition, it will bring forth. You are not a victim of past programming. You are the reprogrammer. By feeding your subconscious new seeds of truth, faith, love, abundance, forgiveness, you change your destiny. Remember this. Your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. Change the inner picture, and the outer frame rearranges itself. In the next chapter, we will journey deeper still to the unconscious mind, the hidden library of the soul, where forgotten memories, ancestral patterns, and unseen energies shape the course of your life. There we will learn how to uncover, heal, and release what lies beneath the surface. Chapter 4. The Unconscious Mind, the Hidden Library of the Soul. Beneath the surface of your waking thoughts lies a vast and mysterious realm, the unconscious mind. It is ancient, powerful, and largely hidden from ordinary awareness. While your conscious mind plans and your subconscious records, your unconscious remembers everything that ever was. It holds the stories of your childhood, the impressions of your ancestors, the patterns of your culture, and even echoes from lifetimes you no longer recall. It is the deep soil from which your instincts, fears, and sudden insights spring forth. The unconscious mind is not your enemy, it is your teacher. Its purpose is not to punish you with painful memories, but to bring to light the parts of yourself still waiting to be healed. The depths beneath awareness. To understand the unconscious, imagine an iceberg floating in the ocean. The visible tip represents your conscious mind, what you know and can see. Just below the surface lies the subconscious, your habits, emotions, and beliefs. But far beneath, forming the bulk of the iceberg, is the unconscious, immense, unseen, yet shaping everything above it. It influences your reactions, your desires, and even your dreams. You may think you are choosing freely, but often the unconscious is choosing for you, based on forgotten experiences and unresolved emotions. How the unconscious protects you. The unconscious mind serves as a guardian. It hides away painful experiences that were too overwhelming to process when they first occurred. A child who faced rejection, shame, or fear may bury those feelings deep within, creating protective walls. As an adult, those buried feelings may reappear as anxiety, avoidance, or unexplained sadness. The original memory may be forgotten, but its emotional charge remains alive in the unconscious, quietly shaping perception and behavior. This is why healing often feels like remembering, not remembering with the head, but with the heart. A story, the artist and the fear of being seen. Amma was a gifted artist. Her work was beautiful, yet she avoided exhibitions and public recognition. Whenever praise came, she felt uncomfortable, even anxious. Through guided meditation, she recalled an early moment in school when she was mocked after showing a drawing to her classmates. That small event, though long forgotten, had imprinted deeply in her unconscious mind, associating visibility with pain. Once she brought that memory to light and forgave it, the fear dissolved. She began to share her work openly, and opportunities followed naturally. What hides in darkness loses its power the moment light touches it. Dreams, the language of the unconscious. Every night when you sleep, your conscious mind rests, and your unconscious speaks. Dreams are its language, a bridge between the known and unknown. They express what your waking self ignores: unspoken desires, suppressed emotions, and creative insights. Dream symbols are rarely literal. Water may represent emotion. A locked door might symbolize a blocked opportunity. A journey could reflect growth. When you pay attention to dreams with gentle curiosity, the unconscious begins to reveal its messages more clearly. Keep a journal beside your bed. Upon waking, write whatever you remember, even fragments. Over time, patterns will emerge, helping you understand the hidden dialogue within yourself. Ancestral and collective memory. The unconscious mind doesn't belong only to you. It is also a doorway into collective consciousness, the shared memory of humanity. Psychologist Carl Jung called this the collective unconscious, where archetypes and inherited patterns live. This means that some of your fears or behaviors may not originate from your personal experiences, but from ancestral memory. For instance, a person might fear poverty without ever having lacked anything in this lifetime, a remnant from generations past who struggled to survive. By acknowledging these patterns with compassion, you free not only yourself, but your lineage. Ask yourself, what repetitive patterns seem to run in my family or culture? Could I be carrying something that isn't truly mine? The shadow self. Within the unconscious also lives what Jung called the shadow, the parts of ourselves we deny or reject. Anger, jealousy, guilt, desire, shame, all the emotions we deem unacceptable are pushed into the dark. Yet the shadow is not evil, it is simply unintegrated energy. When ignored, it shows up as projection. We see in others what we refuse to face in ourselves. When embraced with love, the shadow becomes strength. A person who accepts their anger transforms it into assertiveness. One who accepts their fear turns it into caution and wisdom. The goal is not to eliminate the shadow, but to bring it into balance. Wholeness, not perfection, is the true aim of mastery. Ask yourself, what qualities in others trigger me most? Could these be reflections of my own unacknowledged emotions? Healing the unconscious, the path of light. Healing the unconscious is the process of remembering who you truly are, beyond wounds, beyond stories, beyond time. It requires courage, gentleness, and patience. Here are practices that help bring light to this hidden realm. 1. Inner dialogue meditation. Find a quiet space. Breathe deeply. Visualize yourself descending into a peaceful inner chamber. Ask your unconscious mind gently, what do you need me to know right now? Wait. Do not force. Images, sensations, or memories may arise. Thank whatever appears and release it with love. 2. Forgiveness work. Forgiveness is not forgetting. It is freeing energy trapped in old stories. Write down the names of people or events that still cause you pain. Read each one aloud, saying, I release you. I forgive you. I am free, and so are you. Tears may come. Let them. They are the soul's way of cleansing memory. 3. Body awareness. The body is the unconscious made visible. Tightness in the chest, knots in the stomach, tension in the shoulders. These are messages from the deeper mind. When such sensations appear, place your hand there and breathe love into that area. Ask softly, "What are you trying to tell me?" Then listen. Often a forgotten emotion will surface, sadness, fear, or guilt. Simply acknowledge it, and it begins to dissolve. 4th, symbolic release. Sometimes words are not enough. You may find healing through ritual, writing an old story on paper and burning it, or placing a stone in a river as a symbol of letting go. The unconscious responds powerfully to symbolic acts because they speak its language. The unconscious and divine timing. The unconscious also governs what many call divine timing. There are lessons and unfoldings that occur only when your inner state is ready to receive them. You may desire success or love, but if your unconscious holds fear of visibility or abandonment, it will delay those experiences until you are prepared to hold them with peace. So instead of asking, "Why isn't it happening yet?" ask, "What part of me still needs healing before it can arrive?" The unconscious delays nothing out of cruelty, only out of care. Story: Healing the Generational Chain. In a small Ghanaian town lived a woman named Adwoa who feared abandonment. Every relationship she entered ended the same way, people leaving without explanation. Through reflection and ancestral prayer, she discovered that her grandmother had lost her husband in a war and never healed from that grief. The pain had been carried silently through the bloodline. Adwoa began nightly prayers of forgiveness for her ancestors and visualized them surrounded by light. Over time, the cycle broke. She met someone kind, and for the first time, love stayed. By healing her unconscious inheritance, she healed her family's story. Working practice: the Uncover and Release journaling method. Purpose: to uncover hidden emotional patterns and release their hold. Step 1. Awareness. Before sleep, ask your deeper mind, "Show me what needs healing within me." Set the intention with sincerity. Step 2. Observation. The next morning, note your dreams, moods, or memories that arise. Don't analyze yet, just observe. Step 3. Expression. Write freely for 10 minutes about whatever surfaced. Let emotions flow without editing. Step 4. Understanding. Read what you've written and ask, "What belief or wound does this reveal?" Step 5. Release. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and imagine light filling your heart. Say aloud, "I release all that no longer serves me. I bless and free the past." Repeat this process for 7 days or whenever heavy emotions arise. You'll begin to feel lighter, clearer, and more in tune with your higher self. Integration. Turning darkness into wisdom. The unconscious mind contains not only pain but also great treasure, creativity, intuition, and inherited wisdom. When you bring awareness to it, you reclaim lost parts of your power. The same energy that once fueled fear becomes fuel for creation. The emotions once locked away become empathy and strength. As the ancient mystics taught, within your darkness lies your light. Within your pain lies your power. By honoring your unconscious, you honor the totality of your being. Final reflection for Chapter 4. The unconscious mind is the hidden library of your soul, vast, mysterious, and sacred. It remembers everything because it seeks your wholeness. When you enter its halls with courage and compassion, you awaken ancient wisdom and dissolve ancient pain. The light of awareness transforms shadows into strength. Ask yourself, What truth about myself am I now ready to remember? What light am I willing to bring into the hidden parts of my soul? In the next chapter, we shall rise from the depths to the highest realm of awareness, the superconscious mind, the divine seat of God within you, where wisdom, peace, and infinite intelligence flow effortlessly. This is the mind of spirit, your truest self. Chapter 5. The superconscious mind, the seat of God within. Beyond thought, beyond memory, beyond the limits of time and space, there exists a higher mind, the superconscious. It is the still, luminous presence that watches over all the layers beneath it, the conscious, the subconscious, and the unconscious. It is not bound by fear or desire. It is infinite intelligence, the mind of God within you. This is not an abstract idea. It is a living reality available to all who turn inward with stillness and faith. The nature of the superconscious. The superconscious is the highest level of awareness, your direct link to the divine. It is the wellspring of intuition, creativity, revelation, and unconditional love. It is that inner voice that whispers truth, even when logic disagrees. When you are connected to your superconscious, your thoughts carry authority, your emotions rest in peace, and your actions flow effortlessly with life. You are no longer struggling to create. You are allowing creation to move through you. How the superconscious operates. Unlike the conscious and subconscious minds, which function through analysis and repetition, the superconscious operates through knowing. It sees the whole picture instantly. It does not need evidence, for it is the source of wisdom itself. Imagine the conscious mind as the surface of a lake, constantly rippling with thoughts. The subconscious lies beneath, holding images and memories. But above them both, shining like the sun, is the superconscious, reflecting divine light into all layers when the waters are still. When you quiet the noise of thought and emotion, that light pierces through, guiding, healing, illuminating. Intuition, the voice of the superconscious. Intuition is the language of the superconscious. It speaks softly but with unmistakable clarity. It may appear as a sudden knowing, a feeling in the heart, or a quiet inner nudge saying, "Go this way." Intuition is never anxious or rushed. It doesn't argue or convince. It simply reveals. When followed with trust, it leads to right timing, right people, and right outcomes. We all have this guidance. The difference between those who hear it and those who don't lies in stillness. The louder the outer noise, the quieter the divine voice becomes. When you are silent within, it speaks clearly. Ask yourself, when have I felt a quiet, knowing that proved right, even when I doubted it? How might I create more silence in my life to hear that voice again? A story. The Businessman and the Whisper. Kojo was a businessman facing a difficult decision, whether to invest in a project that promised great profit but carried ethical risks. His advisors encouraged him, but something inside whispered no. He couldn't explain it. Logically, the deal seemed perfect, yet a quiet unease persisted. He listened to that whisper and declined. Months later, the project collapsed under investigation, ruining many investors. Kojo's decision saved not only his finances, but his peace of mind. That inner voice was not random. It was the superconscious, the divine wisdom that sees beyond appearances. Union with the divine mind. The superconscious mind is not separate from God. It is the God consciousness expressing within you. When you commune with it, you commune with the infinite. It is what Jesus referred to when he said, "The Father and I are one." It is the same presence the mystics of every tradition have described, the light beyond light, the peace that surpasses understanding. You do not reach the superconscious by effort, but by surrender. letting go of control, of mental noise, and of ego's constant demands. In stillness, you rise above the mind's turbulence and enter into divine awareness. Practices to awaken the superconscious. There are many ways to open the channel to this higher intelligence. Below are some that you can begin immediately. 1. Stillness communion, the daily practice. Purpose: to align your awareness with divine intelligence. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Sit comfortably, spine upright, eyes closed. Take 3 deep breaths, inhaling peace, exhaling tension. Bring your attention gently to your heart. Feel warmth there. Silently affirm, I am one with the mind of God. Divine wisdom moves through me now. Then, do nothing. Be still for 5 minutes. Let thoughts come and go like clouds. End by giving thanks for whatever awareness arises. Practice this once or twice daily. Over time, you'll sense guidance more clearly and feel calm even in uncertainty. 2. The question of light. When faced with confusion, don't rush for answers. Instead, enter silence and ask your higher mind, what would love have me do? Then wait. The answer may appear as a thought, a sign, or a synchronistic event later that day. The superconscious always answers, but in its own language of timing and harmony. 3. Gratitude as a bridge. Gratitude is a sacred doorway. When you give thanks, you align instantly with the frequency of the divine. It lifts your vibration and opens the heart, the seat of the superconscious. Each morning, before doing anything, whisper 3 things you are grateful for. Feel the gratitude deeply, not as words but as emotion. This single act shifts you from survival to creation. The state of flow. When you are connected to the superconscious, you enter what psychologists call the flow state. Time disappears, creativity blossoms, action feels effortless because the doing arises from being. Artists, athletes, and spiritual teachers often describe it as being moved by something greater. That something is the superconscious, the God force flowing through the human vessel. In that state, there is no fear because there is no separation. You are not trying to make things happen. You are letting them happen through you. A story: the musician and the divine breath. In Accra, there lived a saxophonist named Ebo. One night during a concert, he lost himself completely in his music. He said later, "It felt like something else was playing through me. I wasn't blowing air. The music was breathing me." That night, people wept, strangers hugged, and a peace filled the room. Ebo touched the realm of the superconscious, where art becomes prayer. When the human merges with the divine, beauty flows without effort. The science of the superconscious. Modern neuroscience has begun to explore this higher state of awareness. Studies of monks, mystics, and meditators show patterns of brain coherence. The 2 hemispheres functioning in perfect harmony. The heart's rhythm synchronizes with the brain's waves, creating what scientists call heart-brain coherence. In this state, intuition sharpens, healing accelerates, and creativity expands. Ancient mystics called it Christ consciousness, Brahman, or oneness. Science calls it gamma synchrony. The language differs, but the essence is the same: unity with the infinite. Trusting the superconscious. One of the greatest challenges is learning to trust this higher wisdom. The conscious mind wants control. It says, I must figure this out. But the superconscious whispers, be still. I already know. When you learn to trust this inner guidance, life unfolds with ease. Synchronicities become frequent, meeting the right person at the right moment, hearing the right word at the perfect time. You realize that what you once called coincidence is divine orchestration. Ask yourself, Where in my life am I still trying to control what I should surrender? Can I trust that divine intelligence knows better than my limited mind? The superconscious and healing. In the superconscious state, healing happens spontaneously. It bypasses logic and enters the realm of divine order. Jesus healed through this state by seeing the perfection of God in the person before him. You too can access this. When you quiet the lower mind and rest in divine awareness, your body and circumstances begin to realign naturally. You stop trying to fix the world and instead radiate harmony, which draws healing to all around you. Try this simple healing meditation. Sit quietly and imagine a brilliant white light above your head, pure, radiant. Let it descend slowly into your body, filling every cell. Whisper, "The divine perfection within me restores all things now." Sit in silence for a few minutes, feeling gratitude. You may feel warmth, tingling, or peace, signs that your higher mind is active, living from the superconscious. When you live guided by the superconscious, you stop reacting and start creating. You become an instrument of divine purpose. Obstacles no longer intimidate you. They become lessons in alignment. You sense what actions to take without overthinking. You forgive easily, love freely, and trust deeply because you know that the source of all life lives within you. This is what the saints and sages meant by enlightenment. Not escape from the world, but union with it through awareness. Say quietly to yourself, "I am one with the infinite. The mind of God thinks through me. I trust the wisdom within." Let those words rest in your heart like gentle waves on the shore. Working practice, the superconscious alignment meditation. Purpose, to activate daily connection with divine guidance. Duration, 10 minutes. Step 1, sit comfortably. Place your right hand on your heart. Step 2, breathe slowly. On each inhale, imagine drawing light from above your head into your heart. Step 3, as you exhale, imagine that light radiating outward to the world. Step 4, silently affirm, "The divine mind within me guides every thought, word, and action." Step 5, after 5 minutes, ask your inner being one question that matters to you. Wait in silence. Do not force an answer. Simply receive whatever feeling or image arises. Over time, you will begin to sense the quiet certainty that comes only from divine connection. The farmer and the rain. There was once a farmer in the Volta region who had endured months of drought. One morning, after meditation, he heard within, "Prepare the soil." He obeyed, though neighbors laughed. There were no clouds in sight. 2 days later, rain poured for hours, and his field alone was ready to receive it. The superconscious always knows before the senses do. Faith listens and acts before evidence appears. Final reflection for Chapter 5. The superconscious is the divine seat of God within you, the eternal mind of love, wisdom, and creation. It is the silent witness behind your thoughts and the source of every miracle. When you live from this place, you no longer strive, you flow. You no longer fear, you trust. You no longer search for God outside, you discover God within. Ask yourself, am I willing to let the divine mind lead my life from this day forward? Can I live as a vessel of the infinite, guided by peace instead of fear?